end of day wrap up, July 29th, Wednesday, after the Fed spoke. But I did a couple videos on those already. This is more just general analysis. So S&P 500, we are at this. We've been in this range forever, 2 months now. We did close below this last low just a little bit, but back in there. And more importantly, we kind of dipped into this support zone, the last support zone, lowest low of the range, and we're seem to be coming out of it. So doesn't mean we will per se. We could break back down and go all the way through, but for right now, we've touched into the support zone of this very flat range we've been in. On the 240, I think it's interesting that we're having these major impulsive moves down, but we're doing it in a channel. It's very clean and organized where it touches and comes back to. I did look at the RSI, and it's not as much divergence as I would have thought, actually, but we are seeing divergence. So the last few lows back here, and then this one's much higher on the RSI. So not quite sure what this channel down means, but we'll see. On the 60-minute, I'm kind of in one of two worlds, depending on how we do it. If we correctively come back, we're kind of touching into the last support resistance zone, or the fibs are up here. I might look to reshort and test the lows again of the 60-minute. But at the same time, if we kind of come down here and form a double bottom or reverse head and shoulders, given the support zone we're in on the daily, I could also see taking this long for a while. So just going to wait and see what happens. Right now on the 15-minute, we're very indecisive, just kind of meandering into this major zone. And lastly, I just, today was Fed day, but these are 15-minute bars, and there was not a break. Even on the 5-minute bars, there's no structure provided. One candle pullback only. 3-minute bars, same thing. That's insane, right? So 1-minute bar, sure, you start to see some structure, but I'm really just making a point of, like, there's just days where the market is moving. The waves are too big to surf, right? And this is one of them to me. So I will say it does look like on the 5-minute, my part pull, so it went up and then shoot all the way down and close, and now it's coming back up into that. So we'll see what the S&P decides to do. Clear indecision today. I've ripped up from the news, got up to this zone here, couldn't break to new highs, ripped right back down. So we'll see on that one. On the euro, kind of invert. So huge day up, but that said, it put us up into the range that we've been in for a while here on the daily in 240, and we stopped going up as hard. So we're pulling back a little. Here you see on the 240, major divergence on this one off of this trend line break. I went over this in the how to play Fed video. So I'm going to be kind of watching the 60 and 15-minute for a double top or a head and shoulders or a reason. I'm going to be looking for sells, given where we are on this range. That said, if we were to break up, because we're also, here's the daily, we're also very bearish in general. We've just been in this flat for a few months, but we could pop up to these fibs if we come out. But it's not until we break this line way up here that we would have a change of character on the daily. So 240, it's kind of hard. We're in that range, all that. So I'm looking for shorts, given the pattern we get here, at least down to these lows, prior lows on the 60-minute here, kind of pre-Fed. That said, if we pop and rip, I'll wait for a pullback and get in then. The only other big ones I'm watching are Bitcoin on the 240, just seeing what could be a head and shoulders. Zoom back out to the daily. We've also just been in this flat range forever. So we'll see. You could argue this is a bit of a flag and we're going to rip up. I don't know. But that's if we break low, head and shoulders. If not, then we'll probably break out this range soon. But Kind of sitting on hands and waiting for some clear signals here. 60-minute, we are bearish. And so if, watching that, if we get a little double top up here or something, I might be interested, but need to see it first. Oil, moving over to oil. Oil has ripped up, came back down, never broke below the last low, defended it, came back up with an engulfing. On the 240, that's what this looks like. It's one big move up, and now we're finally correcting in. And also on the 240, we had this major uptrend, and even this move back was corrective. So I'm looking for longs. Let's see. Here's the fib zone, top of this box here. Could be prior support, but I'm just waiting and seeing. On the hourly, we are at the support zone of the last high, and we are certainly bullish structure. So looking for buys here on the 15. We could argue we have a little double bottom and that this is the neckline, but we'll see. Put the box here. Boom. And then Bitcoin that. Oh, gold. Gold is being weird. Let's go to gold. So I had the Fed announcement today. On the 240, we shot up, but then you can see this huge wick that formed. Just boom, pushed it down. On the daily, staying in this wedge, huge wick pushing us down. We're kind of indecisive here. So yeah, ripped up, but then a lot of selling pressure came down and took over more than half the candle. You see that here, we kind of came up into it and now down. So I didn't mark this as the high, it could have been broken below a low. So we are just trapped in this sort of pre-Fed move. It could be that we're just basing and we're going to rip up. This could be forming a double bottom, and this is the neckline. I don't know. I don't think the market quite, or I'm not seeing what the market is telling me here in terms of what to do. So, I could easily see us ripping out of this falling wedge that we're in on the daily. And on the weekly, we've been holding this support zone for months. So that's why I'm a little bull biased. But on the 60-minute, I need to see us in the 15-minute. I need to see it kind of calm down and give me some structure I could trade. And then lastly, pound yen. Still in that wedge, still even in this daily last push uptrend. Really been just milling around, although we did have this pretty engulfing candle here, but we haven't broken even new highs here. So I could count this as a double bottom with a neckline break. And it actually happened at the fib of the overarching daily. So never close. So here's your double bottom. Here is your neckline break. And we are now pulling back. So I'm going to be waiting to see. Actually, this will be a fun one to watch. This might be it. How far this retracement comes back in on the 60-minute. And if a pattern arrives, that tells me it's okay to go long. If I'm going to start watching change of structure on this one, pretty close. This might be a potential double bottom here. Or it could just keep going down and we'll follow structure down. But looking to long, given that we've had this major move up, and on the 240, you can argue it was a bit of a double bottom, happened at the fib zone of a bullish daily run. Maybe we come up and touch this pennant one last time as wedge or whatever we are in channel. All right. Did a lot of videos today. Watch them all. Really just trying to hone in on trading the news.